Aloha Audleyites. By now you should know that phrase means I'm here to analyze another video of pro Halo gameplay. This time I'm going to be looking at the team EnVyUs and their gameplay on Strongholds on Eden, focused on the Ketchup King himself, Richie Heinz. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started here. Get rid of that ketchup bottle and replace it with the Ketchup Man as we start off this Eden Strongholds game. See, right off the bat, he's running toward OS. Looks like he's going for rockets. You see him immediately doing the slide boost there, getting across map as fast as he can. He's gotten a good grasp of these movement mechanics in Halo 5 that you can use to speed yourself up. You thrust right before you slide, and you get a little bit faster. You see here, he's putting good use of the AR while he tries to keep a player weak for Miquin to finish off. And he's just looking for what to do. And right here, I don't like what he's doing. His team already has Blue Bend. They've got Red Nest, but they should be focused on getting Catwalk. And what he's doing right here is he's moving toward Red Nest. He's pinching the players who are already around the red area. But if any of these players die, what he's doing is making sure they're not going to spawn red again. They're going to spawn up behind Catwalk or over at Blue Base, because Miquin's the only one on his team I can see over there. And in fact, he is the only one over there. So if any of these players from the blue team die, they're not going to spawn anywhere near this red nest. And you want to try to spawn trap players at red nest whenever you can, because it's so weak to everywhere else on the map. So if you already have the blue bin, you want to go up to get Catwalk so that you'll be spawning players at red nest. But instead, we see Heinz here. He's pushing the red nest, trying to pick off some players. And they're all pushing behind Catwalk. They're getting control of Catwalk. And Catwalk, to me, on this game type, is the swing territory to hold. When you have it, you can really take over the game from there. And we see Blue are just gifted the Catwalk off the start here. And now we see the red team spawning at the one territory they've got actual control over. Blue team are swarming into the red nest after taking Catwalk. And again, I don't really agree with pushing toward red after you've got Catwalk. Use the spawn control. You can get over the blue base and take over Blue Bend, which, granted, Randa sneak caps Blue Bend while the red team are swarming to protect red. And blue get their spawns over on the blue side. So you see they've got a great control of the spawns here. They're milking a good bit of time. Pistola was trying to take Catwalk sneakily, but he gets stopped by Raiden, which is Stellar over there, while Heinz is cleaned up and he's now looking across map. They've got Red Nest, so they're trying to get outside for these rockets. And you see Heinz is in the front of his team. There are 3 players on his team, and none of them are paying attention to rockets. We've got 3 guys all in the same place. This is just poor spacing right here, because they're all walking up each other's buttholes, and you don't want to do that. Nobody's back here waiting on these rockets to get them. And as well, with this period of time, you know, the overshield's coming up, and nobody's looking to keep the blue team away from the overshield. Rockets are up, no one's on them yet. It's just time ticking away with these rockets up. While we've got Munoz, you can see with the Oracle mode, just waiting on that overshield. And now he looks like he's got it. He does. I go back to Heinz now that we've seen Munoz with the rockets, or with the overshield rather. Takes out the rocket player, Miquin. And that's just a big misplay out of the entire EnVy squad there. Just all clustering up, not keeping their distance from one another, not covering each other's angles, and not paying attention to the other power-ups other than the rocket launcher, and even not paying much attention to the rockets themselves. See, Heinz caught kind of alone, and now blue team, they don't have Catwalk or blue, so they go for blue first. They don't quite get it, as looks like APG got the reset. But they're focused on getting Blue Bend after they've already taken red, and we'll want to see them try to come around through blue base, get the blue base spawns, and take over Catwalk. You see Heinz showing why Catwalk is strong. He's keeping that player pinned in red. Suspector there has nowhere to go. He's pinned. He's getting help from his teammate. His teammate's in a susceptible position now. And now you see Randa getting taken out. Suspector's still just down low at red side, he's stuck. And that's the power of holding catwalk, and if you can have it, blue bend as well. Those are the two easiest territories to control together. Instead, we see red and blue, and this is just a way of scrapping time when you can, when you have the two side territories. And while you see the red team spawning outside, they're focused on taking over this red base instead of going after blue bend. And again, you see they're just not getting anything out of this. They're not getting large chunks of time. They're not getting any control over the spawns. Rockets are spawning and no one's anywhere near them. And they're all just like scrapping with each other, just poking back and forth, trading kills, till finally, 15 seconds later, we finally see the rockets. You see Heinz passes them over to Mikwin. Mikwin's got this overshield, and the one exception to going for blue first, which granted they already have catwalk, but I would say when you have overshield and rockets, you can go after catwalk by yourself, take it over because you've got so much individual power. And there again, you see Heinz using that thrust slide to get across the map super fast. He's got such a great handle on that mechanic. Blue team taking over catwalk again, and you see him pulling back into blue base, making sure they don't lose control of blue base spawns as they push over to blue bend. And they get blue bend. Now they've got two territories yet again, and it's just red team focusing so hard on this red side of the map. They're not going for these blue base spawn control, the blue bend territory, and just working on their rotations at all. They're just constantly moving back to this red base, and you want to use the red base as a consolation prize when you've got no other territories. You see Heinz coming off spawn. He's actually starting to get the hang of it, going after that blue bin. He's just eating some grenades. He's by himself here. The red team are just focused on going for catwalk, which I don't agree with this because it's so hard to assail catwalk when you don't have control of the other side. They do get numbers up there and take it over, and now we've got Heinz sneak capping blue bin, but he's by himself. Players swarming to help him. Pistola coming out of the woodworks. This play ends up working out for them. They get the two territories they want, and you see blue team, as I said, taking a consolation prize of taking over the red base while blue and catwalk are being taken by the red team. And good sacrifice play out of Heinz there. He knew that player had rockets, but he rushed into close range to force that person to rocket themselves. So rockets are down. You see APG grabbing them, getting away alive, trying to stay alive as much as he can. Gets cleaned up by a grenade there. Now Pistola's going to go for these rockets while Munoz has overshield. Once again, Envy dropping the ball on that overshield timing. And you see Munoz does get cleaned up out of the territory, but that overshield made sure that Envy didn't keep control at all. You see them, they are holding the two territories, I said are the focus, but as you can see through Heinz' death cam there, all the blue team just stacking that territory, strong-arming it down. They're getting the scrap time while they try to hopefully get catwalk. But in the meantime, they've got these outside territories, and they're just scrapping time. Envy are fighting hard to take over. Heinz does take blue bend, and now we've got Envy with the right territories. But again, you see Heinz pushing over to red base. He's not trying to clean up players off a catwalk. He's chasing a player down low. It's just not good control of the map out of the Envy team in general here. They're not trying to keep the spawn rotations going, and as you can see, blue team are taking back two territories. They're getting points again, and it's looking like they might get a triple cap as the blue team are all in position to push this blue bin. Great grenades out of them to just knock out the Envy team. That's 3 dead, and that's just a big misplay out of Envy. Like, all stacking through that one choke point, nobody splitting, coming from sniper or up high. Just not using their angles and spacing to cover each other at all. But they are going for this catwalk to get the high ground at least, trying to minimize their damages, but nobody's looking for where these players are coming to push from. And again, we see they're going for red instead of blue first, and it's just not working out for them. It's 3 dead. Heinz is picking up this overshield after they took out the rocket player, so that's a good damage mitigation, damage control there, but they're losing Catwalk. They've already lost Blue Ben, so this game is going to be over. They actually, Heinz looked like he got out of the territory instead of it capturing, so a little slight misplay that may have cost them a potentially salvageable game. But again, you see a lot of just like missed opportunities throughout the game in terms of knowing which territories to control, which ones to give up. And that's the thing about Eden Strongholds. Like, I, I understand that there's a lot more to the game flow than just like constantly going for the optimal play. You have to keep in mind how many players you have alive, who's where on the map. But just constant like overextensions from both teams and not really paying attention to what they have and what they need, and neither team looking to really control spawns throughout that game, except for the one point where you saw Envy get trapped in a choke point, and you've got to make sure you're not all like holding hands across the map. You got to maintain your spacing, make sure you're not all standing in position for one grenade to destroy you, or like clustered in one area of the map when power weapons or power ups are coming up on the other side. So a lot of areas for like Envy as a whole to improve in that game, and a lot of room to like point out where you need to prioritize strongholds better throughout this game. So, but that's it for this video. I hope you guys learned something about strongholds on Eden, or at least power weapon control, or maybe even an example of when teamwork is a bit too clustered and not focused or diffused across the map, where like evil geniuses have the strength of being able to cover each other's angles while standing way apart from one another on the map, and you didn't see that as strongly in this game out of EnVyUs. So these are little things you can maybe take into your own gameplay, such as if you see players trying to push out a blue base toward blue bin, go up on the catwalk, look at blue bin from up high. Just like little things like that are great ways you can improve your gameplay at home, get little advantages out of gameplay. Just pick your territories better, pick your priorities better, and you'll see just little improvements like that, how you get better at the game. Anyway, that'll wrap it up for this video. Hope you guys hope you learned something, and if not, come back for the next one. And with that, we'll close it out the way we always start it, with an